Another thing about the way the tax law is written, Dr. Eduardo Rivera, he was an attorney. I guess he's still an attorney, but he was disbarred in California because they don't like us coming into the courtroom talking truth and constitutionality and law and oaths and things like that, perjury of oath. His point was that the the 16th Amendment didn't really give Congress any new powers of taxation. The Supreme Court has ruled that the income tax is constitutional, and it could only be constitutional if it followed the guidelines in the Constitution. And that is that there shall be no taxation without apportionment among the several states. And that's not how the federal income tax is set up, because different people pay different rates. It shouldn't, and it has to be an equal taxes. So the point being that there's no new power to tax in the 16th Amendment. What they've done is just bastardize the whole thing so that we think they got new power to tax. But you can hear right out of the horse's mouth from former commissioners of the IRS that taxes are voluntary for people that aren't required to pay. They never put those words together. Taxes are voluntary for people that aren't required to pay, or taxes are voluntary for people that aren't liable. They don't put those words together because they want you to think that everybody's liable. Did you work last year? How much? How much did you earn? Send it in, right? That's the funny thing. But a point was made to me that I took to heart. Like, somebody has to be liable, right? The problem is when you read the code, they don't really spell out who's liable in a way that a regular guy like me, or maybe you or your wife or you, sister, can figure out. Because that's just not how they wrote the code. They don't want us to know what's happening, who's liable. The code says, this is something I learned from Irwin Schiff, anybody who's liable for this taxes, anybody who's liable for this taxes must do such and such. Oh, okay, well, anybody who's liable, who's liable? Who's liable? Who's liable? They don't tell you, well, if you did this, you're liable. But they do. They hint around at it, and that's how Pete Henderson managed to decipher that code, the tax code, and found out what is the nexus. And the nexus is, if you're working for the government, if you're a public servant, you're being paid out of the public funds, eating out of the public trough, then your revenue is internal to the Treasury payrolls, and the Internal Revenue Service is going to make sure that you pay revenue on your internal wages. I guess you can say it that way. And that's totally lawful. They can do whatever they want. The Congress, the United States and Congress assembled, has jurisdiction over federal employees because they're working at federal jobs, in federal buildings, on federal lands. They might be working unlawfully on jobs. They might be working on private projects as the federal government. They might come strolling into your building, making demands into your private property, private function, private projects. Then they're breaking the law. They're outside of their jurisdiction, and they're acting in their personal capacity, and they can be held liable as individuals and sued in court. You can own that special Sea-Doo with the pink stripe that you've always wanted if you take them to court and win. So these are some things that we need to pay attention to, okay? Just a heads up here. Trying to pique your curiosity, get some interest going so that you can ask some meaningful questions and we can get a dialogue going so that we can continue to spread the truth about the American way, which is not the United States way, because United States is not even a country, it's a corporation. Look it up. If you don't want to look it up, I'll get around to it. Comment below and I'll get around to these things. But if you don't care, I'm not going to waste any more of my time. I'm not going to waste my time pursuing details. I've got them on my hard drive, on this machine, that machine, my laptop. Some are on my tablet. I got a few up in the cloud. I got several terabytes of data scattered around, and a lot of it's tax law, government law, U.S. Code, Constitution, Articles of Confederation, Northwest Ordinance. People should read that and understand the difference between someone who's involved in the political system, the body, if they're a member of the body politic, or not. I'm an American free inhabitant. and you're not. If you want to know more about that, ask me. So for now, hey, it's McFloyd saying, do something. Okay, just get up off your butt and do something productive. Try to help us get our country back. I don't care what color you are. I've been around the world seeing all the colors. Come on, brother, sister, let's just get together and defeat these frauds, take our country back, get to local government, think locally, think globally, act locally. It's all about community. It's all about community. What's going on outside your door? Ooh, flood. I got to move that microphone someplace where I don't keep hitting it. Anyway, love, peace, brotherhood. We can win. We just got to get together. We got to wake up. Just 3-4% of us. We can make a huge change.